So first.
Correct.
Yeah.
All of the current officers are returning and on the board. So I guess my first question would be, are you, Dan is chairperson, Tyler is vice, Stan is secretary, and Greg Sprunger is vice secretary. I know Greg is absent, but are all of you willing to serve in that position again, or do you want to open up nominations for individual?
Doesn't matter to me. If someone wants it, they can do it.
But
So if someone wants it, they can do it. It doesn't matter to me.
if everyone in their current office is willing and prepared to serve again, then the board has the option of doing a nomination and reelection in May, and keeping the same officers and the same appointments. Otherwise, we'll open up the floor for nominations for chairperson, so let.
Make a motion, we retain the current officers.
Second.
That was quick.
I know, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that?
Christie, are we ready to be secretary?
Yes, and Christie will continue serving as recording secretary.
That was quick.
But, if there's no further discussion, then all in favor of retaining officers as currently appointed for the 2026 year? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I don't think
Very
Dan said it real
congratulations.
easily.
Okay, guess we'll move on to the minutes. Does everyone have a chance to review the minutes? Corrections, deletions, additions?
Motion approved.
Second. Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Okay. We will go right on to controller's report.
Hey, I handed out to you the summary sheet for December. Check the operating fund, $1,101,131. Reverting fund, $3,610. Savings for the measure, $1,557. Investments for operating fund, $1,054,364.
Steve,
$233,000. Permanent measures, $294,000. $64,393. And for year-to-date, transfer station, your revenues, $746,233, compared to last year, it's $171,953. Recyclables, year-to-date, $40,093, compared to last year of $56,070. Then the expenditures, year-to-date, $1,788,770, compared to last year, $1,780,000. We had budget left over of $300,270.
And could I add to that, last week when you guys were asking about, or last meeting, of talking about the increases in our revenue, Christie looked through it, and the reason of the increases, part of the reasons are, there was a $74,000 gate fee increase, because we raised our gate fees by 5%. Taxes was $66,000, and then there was $21,000 in interest occurred to make that our revenue increased. We did have a $17,000 loss though from recycling, because we know that it's not paying us out. So just wanted to add that, because you guys had questioned that the last meeting. We just wanted to verify the reasoning for that.
On the budget remaining, Becky, does that just roll over into the 26 budget then, or how does that?
We just,
No, it just,
we don't really know, it just is extra money.
We just do this.
Yeah.
And then next year.
So we can just, yeah,
Yeah.
there's not, I mean, if there would have been anything that needed to be encumbered, we could have, but there wasn't any bills that had to.
So it's not like it's money that goes back into the investments. It's just money that we didn't spend.
Right.
it's not exactly budgeted, it's just unappropriated funds for the year. So if it becomes a need that's not budgeted, then that would require the board's action. And then essentially an additional appropriation.
Any more questions on the financial report?
Motion accept if not report presented.
Second. Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, on to claims.
Okay, claims for January, there are 39. 85,001.
Is the, number 35, is that, just a premium cost, I suppose,
Yeah. Our insurance for workman's comp and all of our business.
That's annual.
annual?
Pays once a year.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
Okay, motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, now to payroll.
Okay, payroll for 93, December 26th, 1,872.37. January 9th, 21,841.62. And then the last one is split because of pay rate changes. And that's January 23rd with a total of 21,704.37. That's those last fifty that into it.
So you say that split payroll reflects the partial payroll that's.
Right, the
with
first
the
page shows
increase.
from December 28th to December 31st. And then the back as the January 1st to January 10th. So those are all, that's all within one pay period of 2 weeks, but it's just the other crossover in the year rates. Why it's split like that.
Because it's kind of looking like it's less, and that's why I thought, I wasn't sure if it reflected the new pay rate.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve payroll.
Second.
Okay, we have motion is second to approve payroll, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. All right, to old business.
Okay,
So-
you recall last month, we discussed this company called Atlas. We use that as a consulting firm for all of our, meth testing and water testing at the old landfills, or at least the north landfill now. That company has made a switch, like I said, a bunch of the group has left and went to another company called CTI. I contacted them. They were the person my contact was in the middle of making a switch to this company. And she's tried to get things around. She hadn't quite got it all completed yet. So I just asked the board that I'll bring my findings at the March meeting. Hopefully she'll get a proposal put together and get that. If not, we're okay right now with that company. I mean, we're still with that company. It's not hurting anything. And if, I want to give her a chance to get all their stuff together and make sure that it's the right move for us. But the March meeting, I should have all that put together, spring that up at the March meeting. You guys had asked for a proposal and was questioning getting all of our old records. We definitely want that. If we can't get that, then it's a no-brainer. We don't want to lose what we've got right now. We're in for 2027 to get out of that first closure. So if we can do that, that's a big savings. So we don't want to jeopardize that at all. So that's where I'm at with that. As far as the garage doors, we talked about that we were, seemed like those garage doors, we're always fixing. There's 7 of them there. There's something breaking on them all the time. They don't open. There's a couple that open a lot, the recycling doors. A couple other doors we open in the morning and they don't shut till we close. So I had Rainer come out. Well, we look back, Christie pulled up all the records for the last 3 years. We have spent $18,000, 18,511.08, for repairs, service fees. We got it 2 times. They come and service the doors twice a year. So it came to 18,511. Average it out to $6,170 a year. I got to look at it. I thought, that's probably not terrible. So we called the company and I was impressed. We've had Rainer Door ever since the facility was built. They looked back, he had all the records of what doors we bought, everything. He had it all. And he came and looked at all of our doors, and I thought, he's probably gonna try to sell us all new doors. Nope. This guy come and he said, you know what, Jeff? He said, I'll be honest with you. I don't see a problem with these doors. They're old, but he says, when I first talked to him, he said a lot of these old doors will hold moisture in the bottom and they'll get real heavy. So it's just a lot of weight on all your springs and everything. But he said the doors we got are a better quality, but they're an open door. So when water gets in there, it drains out. So he said those doors, there's nothing wrong with the doors we got. They're 27 years old, nothing wrong with the doors. He said the only thing that he would recommend was make sure we're doing those 2 inspections a year where they come and service it. He said that if he was to replace all 7 of those doors, it would be between $80,000 and $100,000 for all those doors. So he says what he would recommend to do is just keep doing what we're doing. And he said, like openers, the problem with the openers, they're still old school, but they're good. They're quality. They're built better than a lot of the newer ones. But he says the problem is finding parts for them. He said, that opener, I might be able to find half of the parts for it right now, and the other half I can't. So his idea was just keep doing what we're doing, as long as they got parts to fix those door openers. When one of them goes bad and he has no parts for it, we'll replace that opener. For, he says, $3,500 to $4,000 for the opener. And
That sounds like a plan.
so I was impressed with him. I mean, he could have tried to sell us, but he didn't. He said, that's not the way we work. And he said, I don't see a need for it. Like to sell you all new doors, but I don't see it. So I was impressed with them, and that was Raynard. We've dealt with them forever, and they've been great to come down, just seemed like we're spending a lot of money for them, but $80,000, $100,000.
So the springs are good.
Yeah, I mean, he says they'll go bad, and we've had springs break stuff. I said, all I'm worried about more of the safety issues. I don't want to see something happen with those doors and somebody's underneath the door or something. And they got safety. I mean, there's things and they watch it and fix all the parts. I mean, I don't know if we can do any more than what we're doing right now. We have them come in twice a year and we call them and they're down here. Yeah, they're a good company. So like I said, I liked what our findings were on that. So I thought it was a good thing. So.
It's amazing. 27 years, a long time.
Yeah.
You bet.
Yeah, but like I said, there's only a couple that open a lot, and some of the others we open them once and they shut down. They're open all day. They're big. I mean, they have to be tall doors. There's a lot of weight to them, but
Surprising.
they're working. So
27 years, someone had backed into them.
he said he was amazed at how nice they still look. He was really amazed with using a loader and all kinds of stuff. We did have one that we had trouble with last year. It kind of crinkled, fell down. It had some, but it was just issues with I think a spring had broke and there were some issues, but other than that, that's.
Did he speak to, with the age of the doors, and he said getting parts may be difficult, did he talk about different door models being phased out and how long?
I don't think that's so much as I don't think the door itself and the frames and all that stuff. It's the electronics, the opener part. That is a big, the rest of the stuff's pretty common stuff that they all sell, these doors, the hinges and all those kind of things. But the openers themselves, electronics has went and, finding
Right.
parts for those, they've just updated. So yeah, he said the doors are good. I mean, there's no reason, just fix stuff that breaks though, that's why you do it twice a year, have them come and make sure they know, if this doesn't look good, just do it. We don't want anything. So like I said, I thought it was a good conversation. He impressed me. I'd buy doors off of Raynard.
Great. Well, thanks for looking into that. Okay, I don't see any new business. Didn't come up.
Nope.
Okay, then on to director's report.
Okay, we could let Christie talk about that. We had the scales. We wanted to round all the pennies down. So if you want to tell him, Christie, you contacted him, how much they charged to change our software.
Yeah, I contacted them and then they charged, was it like $750 to change the program. And then he's able to update the program, and so now everything is rounded down. So once they get the weight, they figure everything, then the system automatically rounds everything down to the nearest nickel or whole dollar. Yeah.
So it's to the advantage of the customer.
Yes.
So everything is to the customer benefit.
Seems a lot to spend for pennies worth of change, but that's what we're into, you know. It is what it is. It's coming. We don't get pennies anymore.
So the State Board of Accounts they understand what you're doing and why. So there are no.
Yeah, we contacted them.
Yeah, we called them, and then as long as, the bill reflects everything
Okay.
along the whole system, then we're
Sure
good.
this isn't
They
their
were,
first roundup on this.
No,
they were familiar with it because they've had other
they've had other
entities
ones.
question it and stuff. So yeah, she was right on top of when we explained to her what we're doing. She said, yeah, there's no problem with it. That's all I have on that.
Okay. On to Ian. Anything from,
Yes, a couple of things. First,
Yes.
Christie brought to my attention in resolution 2025-7, which was, the resolution approving different transfers and reductions from accounts. We're just making a matter of record to clarify that one of the transfers was from workman's comp. And on the resolution, it states fund number 119. It's actually fund number 123 on the budget line item, but the actual account from which the funds were deducted is accurate. So we just wanted to clarify that.
It's a typo.
I need a motion to make that a matter of record.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion is second to make it a matter of record. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay.
And then the next thing is, it doesn't require any board action other than your signatures. These are the transfer station contracts between the district and the cities of Bern and Decatur. At last month's meeting, the CPIU reference wasn't available or released yet. And so that has since been taken care of, and those figures have been reported out to the cities. Bern has had a meeting where they've been able to approve and sign their contract. So this will be a final one for Bern, and then Decatur's is getting theirs tonight.
What increase did we end up with then?
The CPIU for the period of time between November of 24 and November of 25 was actually 4.3%. So the increase, the rate increase is 4.3% to both the cities. And then that's also the rate that is taken into consideration with gate fees and fees associated with the transfer station itself.
Is there any reason to think about not taking that full increase based upon our performance from last year and the fact that we showed a $300,000 profit? And is there could we even do that? Number one, and obviously then would we want to do that, but could we do that?
That's completely within the discretion of the board.
Okay.
Typically, the rate increases are passed along to the cities, to the users, because that rate increase happens automatically as part of our transfer or as part of the
We're
disposal
gonna
contract.
get that increase at.
But if there are funds that we don't necessarily have to apply that to contracts for the cities if we have available funding.
Yeah, so I guess that 4.3% increase was based upon what? Who made that decision?
So
Or is it?
Using it's the Bureau of Labor Statistics, it's the Consumer Price Index unit for water, trash, and sewer collection. It had been the overall CPIU, so that is a measure of inflation. And it looks at a snapshot in time over an annual basis. And up until the most current waste disposal contracts and our hauling contracts, we had used the overall CPIU rate. And then when we were negotiating and looking at the bids from Waste Management, they asked to narrow that measurement down to that specific line item, that water, trash, and sewer, because it was more reflective of the type of use that was associated in measuring cost increases. And so that is a built-in increase with our waste disposal and our hauling contracts on an annual basis. And then we look at that same amount, and it's done by resolution. That was, I believe it's a 2022 or 2023 resolution that is a blanket application for increases in gate fees and costs for the transfer station that gets applied.
It's the lesser of that CPIU or 5%.
Okay.
Yes, and there's a cap, so we use that amount and or a 5% cap. It helps for budgeting purposes, so everyone knows that it's not going to go above that, but it can be less than.
So out of curiosity, did the cities, Vernon, Decatur, do you just add that same amount, that same percentage to the customers that you're dealing with?
We don't, no. I mean, we just typically, every couple of years, we look at where we're at with sanitation. And then if we need to raise the user fees, we do.
Okay. So in fact, your citizens in Decatur may not have seen an increase.
Right,
Okay.
They
Correct.
generally don't.
right.
I mean, for Decatur, we bought new equipment. We bought a new trash truck a couple of years ago, and that resulted in a rate increase. But what the district charges the city isn't automatically then passed down to city users.
Now, just thinking ahead, if, let's say Monroe and Geneva would get interested in our solid waste district,
We do get Monroe's trash, but it comes through Reliable,
it comes through, okay.
another company.
So Geneva they must have their own thing that they do.
They haul it to Jay County.
Okay.
I was just trying to think, you know, obviously, we run a business here, but the intent is not really to make money.
No.
So when we get into that situation where it appears as though year after year, we're running a pretty significant profit, maybe we don't do it this year, maybe next year, before we just assume we're gonna take that increase. Let's do a little more analysis on that. Tell me, for instance, how many dollars it would have cost us, not this year, but next year. Help me understand, if we only took half of the CPI increase, what would that do to our revenue based on projections? You know, just, $300,000, is that, would that equate to 0.5%, or is that 3%, or is that what? Just trying to think.
Becky, would it be possible to break that down as far as what each percentage point reflects in dollars collected? I mean, would that be a number that could be?
Do you know the tonnage that Decatur and Burn bring in? Is that measured?
What's that?
The actual tonnage
Yeah, if you go
that
across the
Decatur
road.
brings in, Burn brings in, that's known.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That would be able to tell you, if that's something that could be run even for the last couple of years, because a 4.3% increase, I believe, is about $2.38 per ton increase.
If we just looked
And
at
it's-
our transfer station revenues year to date,
746,000.
750,000.
2%,
You know,
like
so
15 grand.
yeah, so it
Mhm.
it wouldn't really have a significant impact on our net income
Mhm.
if we only took half of that this year, for instance.
Right, you're talking
Um,
$15,000.
Yeah.
I guess my only thing is, if you compare us to other, we're so low now. I could do comparison, but compared to Wells County, what they charge to bring trash in, we're like we're an awesome, I mean, I'm not, I agree what you're saying is if we can save
But
some money.
I guess when you think about it from a taxpayer standpoint, you know, to accumulate $300,000 worth of net income year after year after year
Uh-huh.
in something that's really designed to be a service to the taxpayer, not a for-profit endeavor.
I understand.
You know, we're not Waste Management with a board of directors and shareholders to account for.
But I think what happened was years ago, and she could ask her dad, we didn't raise rates. They went for years, they never even raised.
Sure.
Didn't raise any rates at all.
And I'm a big believer in some type of
Yeah,
routine adjustment based upon changing
And-
conditions.
and that
inflation,
adjustment-
whatever.
just until the last few years, when we went to the CPIU with the sewage and that, since Waste Management, will ask that. We used to go with the CPIU, the standard CPIU. For probably the last 10 years, it was like 2%, 1.5%. I mean, we didn't raise our rates at all for all those years. You can ask her dad how low that was for all these years. Well, now just in the last 2 years, it's finally, we are, you know, this 4.3 that wasn't happening before until just the last 2 years.
Well, then
So-
too, something to always keep in the back of our minds is, you know, we're sitting on about 1.8 million on investments.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're I don't know if some of those are
Some of
available,
those are not
available,
touchable,
but
but
they're still investments.
absolutely.
That's a plus.
Sure.
And,
The
and,
vast
and
majority of those are not, they can't really be considered as,
they're not. they're
Cash
not-
at hand.
yeah,
They're not
they're
available.
not liquid, they're not
Right.
available.
We
they're
have to
very
keep so
protected.
much in
It-
reserve for that,
Right.
that don't.
Well, I
Yeah,
kind of
that
agree with
is
Steve
close.
overall.
Yeah,
You know,
the
we're,
trust accounts are
anytime
untouchable.
county level or solid waste level or drainage level, any of it, if we can save taxpayers money, that's part of our job, I feel.
And ultimately, you know, city of
And if,
Decatur,
and if,
city of Bernard,
Jeff, you're,
those,
you're
that
concerned about
trickles through
company.
taxpayer dollars.
yeah,
And as, I mean, as those discussions are had and having just a little bit of a surplus may not be a bad thing, knowing what kind of tax changes are
Oh,
looming.
we always
and
wanna
not-
have a
and
surplus.
having
I'm
a
not,
Full,
yeah.
yeah,
a full picture of what that financial outlook
sure.
is in the next few years.
And we have a
So-
facility that's 30 years old now with, you know, with some, may have more needs in the next 10 years than it's had in the last 10 years.
Well,
But-
that's something that, the roof is something I was gonna talk about here towards the middle of the year about getting a quote. I had a quote for like $60,000 to repair the roof. They wanted to coat the whole thing and do all this stuff. I think that's kind of a little more than we need, but that's an expense that's gonna be coming up. So I mean, there's
When's
always
airspace-
expenses. I'm
What's our
trying to,
contract on airspace in Jay County right now? Is it 4 or 5 years out? Where are we on airspace?
oh no.
So we are
another
entering year
20 years.
3 of a 5-year guaranteed contract with
And
an
keep
optional
renewing.
5-year
That could be
renewal.
that could be a big bump. We don't know in a couple.
But it
years.
sounds to me like we have an option that, is that locked in at?
It's
is
a
it
mutual,
rate?
it's,
Oh, it's mutually agreed upon.
yes. The other, the other option to consider is with an aging facility, and while that's great news for the doors, but coming up with some type of an asset management plan where
Yeah.
there are scheduled and budgeted repairs, replacements.
See, and
or
we've tried to do that. We put a new
services.
scales, I mean, we've tried to put a new
Yeah.
floor we put a new floor in right when Hank was switching over me. That's a brand new floor in there. And like I said, we put new scales, I'm trying to be. I don't know what you wanna say. I don't wanna be
Well-
fair to the county, but I wanna make it nice, but I like that little.
I would like for the board to consider before we just automatically roll that CPIU again next year. Let's
Just to
think
see where
about
we're at.
that. Yeah.
And maybe between now and then, come up with some capital improvements that you guys may
Right.
wanna make in the next 5 years to decide if we can put that all together and make a decision next year.
Just have the contracts for signatures.
Are there services that we could offer that we do not offer now?
I mean, we do so much, so we, like I said, we take all house, we spend $80,000 a year on household hazardous waste that we don't charge anybody for.
I'm always amazed when I come up with somebody's like, surely they don't take this, do they?
We take everything.
Yeah.
That's why they talk about tox away days.
Yeah.
So when you guys have one, yeah, we take them every day. We don't, that tox away day is very expensive. If you do that tox away day, it'll cost $20,000 to $30,000 just for them to set their trucks up and everything for the day. That's just that. That's not the cost of taking this stuff. So what we do is, I got a lady that works SCS, a great company out of Fort Wayne. And the girl lives here that's a representative of us. She comes here from Monroe. And we call her about every 2 to 3 months, once we get things filled up, and she comes and we try to get rid of it. We don't let it build up. I mean, we try to get rid of it. Like I said, we spend a lot of money on that. We take all electronics free. One thing we do charge for TVs, but I don't know.
You know, we could maybe we got that grant to do the tire
Yeah.
remediation last year,
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
We could maybe do that again without the grant.
Mhm.
Well,
You know, I think that was very
Yeah.
successful.
That, like I
Through
said,
the health
yeah.
department, wasn't it?
Huh?
That grant was through
The health department did it for us, but we did it all. They put the paperwork down and that was fine, but we did it all. And it worked out good, and it worked out really good. We filled up 3 trucks the first time, and then the second time we thought we were gonna do it again, I think we just filled 1 truck. So twice within that year, we did it twice, and we were getting low on tires. My biggest concern to that is I wish it did more than what it does do. It's the old farmer that's been saving tires since he was 20 years old, and he's
We need that
farming.
tire.
And he brings all that stuff there and gets it all free. It's not really doing anything for anybody, and I'm not blaming farmers. It could
But
be anybody.
But those tires ultimately will end up in somebody's bonfire or will end up at the.
I don't think they will. I don't know, but we take tires every day at $3 a piece.
Yeah.
We're cheaper. Monroe at Zerker's, $6 a piece for tires. We take it we don't make anything. We're just getting our money back. Whatever. I'm on my horse here. I get carried away on this stuff. I think we do a good
Is there
job
another
of
one?
trying to keep them
Should be 2.
keeping it low and getting the stuff.
Oh, it's right there.
You can, just out of curiosity, an automobile or pickup truck tire is the same as a semi tire?
No, that's another rate for that. Yep, and those are more expensive. And like I said, a lot of times we'll have people have maybe a trucking business, they wanna bring the tires to us. We really don't have a location to store that many tires. So what we do is we refer them to our company that comes down out of Michigan. So if it's a trucking company and got 50 of them, we just say, hey, why don't you contact them, have them come to your facility instead of moving them twice and then reloading them again from our facility. But we take them, I mean, we try not to do businesses that have tons of tires, just because we take the small guy, we'll have some bring 20 tires.
Trying to
That's
think
fine.
of some other services we might offer. We don't do shredding out there, do we?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We charge 5 cents a pound for shredding. So it's like, most people come there and they don't even give us $1 for what they do. So I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you guys do electronics, you take oil, and you have the paint and hazardous waste. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of services.
We're a do it all place, and like I said,
And mulch, that's a big piece of.
and we try not to take the wood stuff out there just because we don't have them come and grind that. We don't have a big enough, but we still take it. People bring it out, we throw it out there and let it just compost back there. I mean,
Well, in my many years involved with county government, I think solid waste is one area that I don't think I've ever received a phone call on complaint.
you did for me once.
Well, I'm talking
fess up
about
to it.
regular citizens.
I had one gentleman, and the whole time I've been there, he and I had some little discussions.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came to the board meeting, I think, and I apologize for
But
that.
I mean, compared to most of our things,
Yeah, it's,
pretty clean.
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
I understand what you're saying. We'll see what we can do to put that, get some ideas of what our costs are gonna be, put something together.
Do you have anything else?
That's it.
Last thing is public comment.
Just, and I haven't talked to you guys, but one of the things We had a guy come in who wanted to do an energy audit for us, particularly at the jail, you know, looking at the potential of solar to augment that energy. Is that anything that we would ever want to consider out of your building? Or not?
You know what,
If not, that's.
I wasn't even hearing what you were saying. I'm so sorry. I
Any
was just-
interested in that in solar out there?
Solar, adding solar.
Yeah.
And I know you guys saw some stuff. like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if we.
We've got a guy that's gonna do an energy audit at the jail.
Mhm, okay.
So I didn't know if we. had
That
any
could be
interest
something to run our balers and that kind of stuff, because we don't heat that big building, so we have no, we've just a couple small heaters in there, but we've got a generator out there that we run the office with too, that's been put in there years ago, but yeah, that could be a possibility to run some stuff.
Out of curiosity, what is your monthly electric
Christie, and you have to ask her, what's our monthly,
approximately?
1,100,
elect?
1146 on this times claims.
That's-
1,146.
That's.
That's per
I just heard that last week.
five different, I don't know where all those.
Oh, yeah,
bills are from,
We
though.
got we pay for all the surveyors, they stay in our buildings, we pay all their electricity for out there at the North
Thank you for
Landfill.
that, by the way.
What's that?
I said thank you.
You're welcome. So we pay all that, but we have the electricity at the Belmont Recycling. We have out there at that location. We don't pay the one at Burn. We rent that property for $750 a month.
This guy had a couple things in his sales pitch. One, if you've got a project in the works by the middle of the year, you're still gonna be eligible for
Tax credits.
tax credit.
30%, something of that nature.
But, the other thing is, he said that it would have probably a, 5 or 6 year payback on installation costs, I suppose. That was their.
So you're looking now at the county highway and.
Looking at the jail primarily.
I think we did.
We may
include
include highway in that, yeah, I forget.
In
what
the
we-
study
We
anyhow.
kind of talked about that, but. those
I mean,
two-
if you want him to talk to you, that's fine, but.
Yeah, that's not a problem. If he sees it could be something beneficial. I don't know if we've got enough. It's gonna,
Yeah.
with electricity, like I said, the only expense we have, the electricities are balers and then the office, but other than like.
Yeah, total utility bill out there was $20,000 this year, so if maybe 15 of that was electricity, I don't know, the gas or whatever.
We have natural gas out there. We actually have propane, but the propane is only used to run the generator. Large generator runs the office.
Well, if you're at all interested in that, and the savings,
Yeah.
if it would be feasible,
Yeah.
you know, by July 1st, we'd have to move, so if you wanna talk with the gentleman, that just contact Angie in the auditor's office, she could give you his name and number.
That's a great.
Good.
Motion adjourned.
Second.